Movie Clapboard. Modern Wild Skills Part 1. Intro, The Call of the Wild. In the modern age, where glowing screens and city lights dominate our nights, it's easy to forget that for most of human history, survival was not guaranteed. Every day was a test, every step a risk. Our ancestors lived by instinct, sharpened by experience, and guided by skills forged in the fires of necessity. But what happens when the comfort of civilization fades, and the untamed world reclaims its power? This is where modern wild skills rise, not just the echoes of primitive survival, but the fusion of ancient wisdom and modern ingenuity. This is not about running away from civilization, but about being prepared when civilization fails you. It is about confidence when the storm arrives, resilience when the earth trembles, and courage when the wild whispers your name. Today, we embark on a journey across the wilderness. We will rediscover the 6 essential pillars of survival: fire, shelter, water, food, navigation, and mindset. Each one is a key, each one a weapon, each one a shield against the unknown. These are not just tricks or techniques, they are lifelines. The ability to conjure fire from almost nothing, to build a fortress from branches and leaves, to turn a muddy stream into clean, life-giving water, to find food where others see only hunger, to walk the land with the wisdom of both stars and satellites, and above all, to master the mindset that transforms fear into focus, despair into determination. The wild is not a place to be conquered, it is a place to be respected, understood, and embraced. And in that embrace, we find not just survival, but meaning. So, prepare yourself, because this is not just a lesson in bushcraft. This is a cinematic journey into the essence of life itself. This is Modern Wild Skills. Fire. Part 2. Fire, the flame of life in the wilderness. When night falls, the world changes. The forest no longer whispers, it growls. The air grows cold, shadows stretch, and the unknown comes alive. In such darkness, one skill has always stood as the dividing line between fear and safety, between life and death. That skill is fire. For our ancestors, fire was more than warmth. It was protection, it was community, it was magic. A single spark was enough to keep predators at bay, to cook food that nourished the body, and to bring light that fueled the spirit. Fire was the first tool, the first weapon, the first friend of humankind. And today, in the modern wild, its power remains unmatched. But the wilderness does not hand you fire, you must create it. And here lies the challenge. In survival, making fire is not about striking a match, it is about understanding the science and art hidden in the simplest of things. Imagine this: the rain has just ended, the forest floor is soaked, the wind charred, the sun hidden. Every branch and leaf is dripping, yet you are cold, and the night is closing in. What will you do? The answer lies in preparation and skill. The first step is tinder, the soul of fire. In the heart of wet wood hides a dry core. Bark, shaved thin with a knife or even a sharp stone, can become the cradle of flame. Cotton-like seeds, dried grass, or even the soft down of plants become sparks waiting to be born. In modern wild skills, even the lint from your pocket or the shavings of a waxed crayon can save your life. Then comes kindling, small sticks, twigs, the bridge between spark and flame. You must collect more than you think you need, because fire is greedy, and once the kindling blazes, it is the logs that keep the heart alive, feeding the flame through the night. But how do you light it? Here, modern wild skills embrace both ancient tradition and modern technology. Flint and steel, striking sparks into the tinder nest. A bow drill, where patience and rhythm turn friction into heat, heat into smoke, smoke into fire. Or a ferrocerium rod, throwing molten sparks like stars onto the waiting tinder. Each technique carries the same lesson: fire is earned, not given. And when that flame finally catches, when smoke curls and a spark grows into a blaze, something changes. The cold recedes, the fear shrinks, and hope returns. Fire becomes your ally. It boils water to make it safe, cooks food to keep you strong, signals rescuers with its smoke, and shields you from the unseen eyes in the forest. But fire is also a teacher. It teaches patience, because you cannot rush a spark. It teaches respect, because uncontrolled, it devours as easily as it saves. And it teaches gratitude, because in the wilderness, a single flame can mean the difference between another sunrise and your last night. Modern wild skills remind us that fire is not just survival, it is connection. When you sit by the fire, watching its dance, you are part of a lineage stretching back thousands of years. Every ancestor who huddled by flames, every explorer who lit torches, every wanderer who struck sparks into darkness, they are with you in that moment. You are not alone. You are carrying forward the most ancient of human traditions. So in the wilderness, when the shadows close in and the night breathes heavy, remember this truth: fire is not just heat and light, it is life itself. And those who master fire, master survival. Derelict House. Part 3: Shelter, the fortress of survival. In the wilderness, the sky is your ceiling and the earth your floor. But when storms break and winds howl, when the cold bites and the rain falls without mercy, the difference between survival and suffering comes down to one thing: shelter. Shelter is not just walls and a roof. Shelter is security. Shelter is dignity. Shelter is the fortress that shields you from nature's harshest blows. In survival, fire may keep you alive through the night, but without shelter, you may not last until that night falls. Consider this: a human can survive 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, but in harsh weather, sometimes not even 3 hours without shelter. Exposure is the silent killer of the wilderness: cold hypothermia, burning sunstroke, bone-deep exhaustion from relentless wind. Nature tests not your strength alone, but your preparation. And in that test, your first line of defense is the roof above your head and the barrier around your body. So how do you build safety where none exists? The answer lies in resourcefulness. The wilderness is full of materials waiting to be shaped. Branches become beams, leaves become thatch, earth becomes insulation. Even in the most barren places, rocks can be stacked, snow can be carved, sand can be molded. Survival shelter is about seeing possibility where others see nothing. The simplest form, the lean-to. A strong branch against a tree, smaller sticks layered, leaves and grass piled thick. Crude, perhaps, but powerful against wind and rain. Then comes the debris hut, a frame of branches covered in thick bedding of leaves, grass, moss, insulating, holding warmth, trapping life within. In the Arctic, the snow cave becomes a shield against deadly cold, while in the desert, a dug pit roofed with shade becomes refuge from a merciless sun. Modern wild skills also add new layers. A tarp carried in a pack can transform into a tent in minutes. A poncho becomes a roof, paracord becomes a lifeline. Even plastic sheets, often discarded as trash, can mean survival when the storm hits. The skill lies not in what you have, but in how you use it. And yet, shelter is more than structure. It is psychology. To sit within walls you built with your own hands, even if those walls are made of sticks and grass, is to feel control in the uncontrollable. It calms fear. It restores confidence. It gives you a sense of home, however temporary, and that sense may keep your mind sharp when panic threatens to take over. Shelter also teaches strategy. Where you build matters as much as how you build. A low hollow may flood in the rain. A cliff edge may crumble. A nest of branches may seem safe, but if it is beneath a dead tree, one strong gust can bring disaster. The wilderness rewards not speed alone, but thought. Look for high ground that drains well, places shielded from wind yet open enough to see what approaches. Think not only of comfort, but of safety. When night falls and you sit beneath your roof of leaves or fabric, when the rain drums above but you remain dry, when the wind howls but you feel secure, you realize something profound. Shelter is more than survival. Shelter is hope. Shelter is proof that you can carve order out of chaos, that even against the greatest forces of nature, human ingenuity endures. And there is one more truth: shelter is not permanent. Like life in the wild, it is temporary, fragile, fleeting, but it is enough. Enough to give you strength for tomorrow. Enough to let you wake up and face the next challenge. In the modern wild, building shelter is not just about surviving the storm. It is about remembering who we are. Humans were never meant to dominate nature, we were meant to adapt within it. And every stick placed, every leaf layered, every wall raised is a reminder that even in the harshest wilderness, we belong. Water droplet. Part 4: Water, the source of life in the wild. Thirst is the most merciless teacher. Hunger may not, cold may bite, but thirst consumes. It clouds the mind, weakens the body, and turns determination into desperation. Without water, no fire will matter, no shelter will save you. Water is life itself. Civilization has blinded us to its value. We turn a tap and it flows endlessly. We buy it in bottles, chilled and sealed. But in the wilderness, every drop is earned. Every sip is a victory. The human body can survive for 3 days without water, but those 3 days are a descent into darkness. First comes the dryness of lips, then the heaviness of limbs. The mind fogs, judgment falters, and soon survival decisions, the very choices that keep you alive, slip from your grasp. The wild does not wait for the unprepared. So, the question becomes, where do you find it? The first secret of modern wild skills is to follow the land. Water leaves signs for those who know how to read them. Valleys carve the paths of streams. Green plants cluster where the soil is dammed. Animal tracks converge toward hidden watering holes. Birds circle where rivers cut through trees. Even in the silence of a forest, the earth whispers where water flows beneath its skin. But finding water is not enough. Not all that shines is safe. A clear mountain stream may carry parasites. A jungle pool may hide disease. The wilderness offers water freely, but never without risk. To drink without care may be to trade one danger for another. This is where knowledge transforms survival. Boiling is the oldest and most reliable method. A rolling boil for 1 minute kills what the eye cannot see. Fire and water, working hand in hand, keep life safe. Filtration is another ally. Gravel, sand, and charcoal layered in a vessel can strip impurities from muddy pools. Modern tools, too, have their place. Compact filters, purification tablets, even UV pens that slay invisible threats with light. Each method is a bridge from danger to safety. And then there are the hidden sources. Morning dew gathered from leaves with cloth. Rainwater collected in makeshift containers. Bamboo stalks, cacti, even vines in the jungle store liquid within their walls. The earth itself can be persuaded. Dig in the dry bed of a stream, and often, seepage will rise to meet you. In survival, the world is full of reservoirs waiting to be tapped by those who understand them. But water is not only about survival, it is about spirit. To drink after hours of thirst is to taste gratitude in its purest form. A single mouthful, cool against a parched throat, revives hope as much as it revives the body. It reminds us of something profound, that life, in its essence, is simple. Water teaches humility. It shows us that strength alone cannot carry us. It reveals the fragility of our bodies and the brilliance of our minds. To find water, to clean it, to make it safe, this is not power over nature, but partnership with it. And so, water becomes more than necessity, it becomes wisdom. It flows not just through rivers and streams, but through every decision in the wild. It tells us to move toward valleys, to camp near sources, to ration with discipline. It shapes the rhythm of survival. In the end, water is not merely something we drink, it is something we honor. Every drop carries the weight of life itself. Every stream is a reminder that survival is not about abundance, but about respect. In the modern wild, the one who masters water masters time. For each drop gives another moment, another hour, another day to fight, to endure, to live. And in that time, all other skills, fire, shelter, food, navigation, mindset, find their meaning. Because without water, there is nothing. Fallen leaves. Part 5 Food, the fuel of survival in the wilderness. Hunger is not just an ache. It is a shadow that grows longer with every hour, a slow thief that robs strength, patience, and hope. Food is not a luxury here. It is fuel. It is the spark that keeps the engine of survival running. Without it, fire warms but cannot sustain, shelter protects but cannot restore, and water flows but cannot rebuild what hunger destroys. Our bodies are machines designed for energy. Every step, every thought, every heartbeat burns fuel. In the wild, where the body works harder, climbing, foraging, building, enduring, fuel burns faster. To ignore food is to invite collapse. But to find food in the wilderness requires skill, patience, and a keen understanding of what the land provides. The first lesson is this: not all hunger must be fed immediately. A person can survive 3 weeks without food, though weakness will grow with each passing day. But the mind grows restless long before the body fails. Hunger whispers, then shouts, clouding judgment, tempting rash decisions. The true skill is to control hunger before it controls you. But when the time comes, the wild offers many gifts. If you know how to recognize them, Plants are often the first line of survival. Edible greens, roots, berries, and nuts have sustained humans for thousands of years. Yet here lies a danger: what nourishes can also poison. Bright colors may warn of toxins, milky saps, bitter tastes, or almond scents may hide death in disguise. Survival demands knowledge, the ability to test, to identify, to trust only what is safe. Insects, too, become allies. Crickets, grasshoppers, ants, packed with protein, abundant, and often overlooked. For many, the thought is repulsive, but hunger has a way of breaking pride, and in the crunch of a roasted grasshopper lies the energy to take one more step. Then there is fishing, the patient art of water's harvest. A sharpened stick becomes a spear, a bent pin becomes a hook, and with stillness and focus, rivers and streams become dining tables. Fish offer rich nourishment, and in their shimmering scales lies the difference between weakness and strength. Hunting, though, is the oldest skill of all. To track an animal through broken twigs, faint prints, and scattered droppings is to step into the mind of the hunter. A simple trap, a snare of cord or vine, may yield a rabbit or bird. A bow fashioned from bent wood and string may bring down larger prey. But hunting is more than technique. It is respect. Every life taken is a weight, and survival reminds us that food is never free. Modern wild skills teach balance, carry lightweight, high-calorie foods when possible, nuts, dried fruit, jerky, energy bars. These are not luxuries, they are insurance, bought in civilization, paid out in the wild. Yet, when they are gone, it is the old ways that endure. And fire, always fire, is food's companion. To cook is to purify, to unlock nutrients, to make the inedible edible. Smoke drives away parasites. Heat breaks down fibers. Flame transforms survival into sustenance. But food, like shelter and water, is more than physical. It is psychological. To eat a meal, however small, restores not just strength but spirit. It comforts, it motivates, it reminds you that survival is possible. Even the act of chewing, the taste on the tongue, becomes a ritual of hope. In the wilderness, every bite is a victory. Every berry, every fish, every strip of roasted meat is proof of adaptation, proof of resilience. Hunger teaches humility, but food restores dignity. And there is one final lesson food gives: gratitude. In cities, meals are rushed, forgotten, wasted. In the wild, nothing is wasted. Every crumb matters. Every meal is remembered. And in that gratitude lies one of the greatest truths of survival: life is precious, fragile, and worth every effort to sustain. Food is not just fuel. It is a reminder of why we endure, why we fight, why we survive. Because survival is not about simply existing, it is about living long enough to find meaning again. And in the wild, food is the bridge that carries us there. Compass. Part 6: Navigation, the art of finding your way. In the wilderness, the land is vast, and the unknown stretches in every direction. To be lost here is not just to wander, it is to step into danger with every footfall. Navigation is not simply about reaching a destination, it is about survival. It is the art of knowing where you are, where you need to go, and how to get there when every path looks the same. For centuries, humans have read the world like a map. Before compasses, before satellites, the earth and sky offered all the guidance anyone needed. A shadow cast at noon, the moss on a tree, the flight of birds, these were the signposts. To navigate the wild is to rediscover this forgotten language. The sun is the oldest compass. It rises in the east, sets in the west, marking time and direction. By watching its arc, you can find your bearings. At night, the stars take its place. In the northern hemisphere, Polaris, the North Star, points unerringly to true north, while constellations carve paths across the heavens. In the southern skies, the Southern Cross offers the same guidance. Above you, the universe itself becomes a map. The land, too, is full of clues. Rivers often flow toward valleys and eventually into larger bodies of water. Trails made by animals may lead to waterholes or escape routes. Vegetation grows thicker on wetter, sunnier sides of slopes. Even the wind, steady in some regions, can hint at direction. To move through the wild without seeing these signs is to walk blind. But navigation is not just about finding direction, it is about strategy. Sometimes the goal is not to reach a far-off place but to return to safety, to camp, to water, to shelter. A wise survivor marks their path: broken branches, stones stacked in patterns, or scratches on bark. Each mark is a breadcrumb, a whisper to your future self, guiding you back when panic would otherwise lead you astray. Modern wild skills embrace both old and new. A compass, small and light, can be a lifeline. It does not fail when batteries die, when clouds hide satellites. A simple map, studied carefully, can turn endless wilderness into a knowable journey. And yet, technology has its place too. GPS devices, apps, and digital maps can be life-saving tools, but they must be treated as allies, not crutches. For in the wild, anything electronic can fail. The greatest danger of being lost is not the distance from safety but the fear it creates. Panic drives people to run without thinking, to burn energy and lose direction even faster. The mind races, the heart pounds, and in that storm of fear, logic drowns. The true navigator learns to stop, breathe, and observe. The wilderness always leaves clues, but only for the eyes that are calm enough to see. Navigation is also about respect for scale. What looks near may take hours to reach. Mountains deceive, rivers wind, forests hide obstacles. Every journey demands patience, planning, and endurance. In survival, shortcuts are illusions. The long way, the careful way, is often the only way. But there is beauty in navigation too. To walk by the stars, to trace the shape of the land, to feel guided by forces older than civilization itself. It is to walk as our ancestors walked. It is to become part of an ancient rhythm, a dance between human and earth. In the end, navigation teaches more than direction. It teaches awareness. It sharpens the eye to notice the smallest details, the bend of grass, the tilt of shadow, the echo of water in the distance. It teaches humility, that the land is larger than us, but not unknowable. And it teaches confidence, that even when the path is hidden, we are never truly lost if we know how to listen. In survival, to know where you are is to know who you are. For the one who masters navigation does not just walk the wilderness, they belong to it. If you enjoyed this epic wildlife adventures, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, share and subscribe to my channel for more adventurous epic wildlife shows. Thanks for watching.